Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Lex and today I'm drawing sign number 4, which is Cancer. And right now it looks like a hot mess. What even is that? What even is that? But the animal associated with Cancer is a crab. And starting this out, I was not a fan, mostly because I can't say I've ever drawn a crab before. And I didn't even know where to begin. There are a lot of weird shapes, and their legs are all segmented and funky. It's a lot like drawing an insect, which I'm also not very good at. And it's going to be very fun drawing Scorpio in a few signs from now. That's later. But, yeah, Cancer. And you know what? I struggled a lot in the beginning because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. Originally, I thought I was going to do, hey, it would look really cool in Zentangle, so if you guys have ever checked out a Zentangle before, they're really neat. It's basically a bunch of action lines or a bunch of fancy pattern lines put together, and they're all different, and they work together to make a really unique piece. Like, it's completely unique. Nobody can really copy it, because everybody has their different style when they do Zentangle. And I hadn't done one in a really long time, so that's kind of what I had started here. But I didn't like it. Mostly because I didn't know how to do it. Not on like something this complex. And so I ended up going with something different, and it turned out very fluffy, and I rather appreciate, or I really liked how it turned out. And I used a different brush that I've never used before. It's like the hair brush, so it's supposed to mimic hair, human hair. And I've been told by a few other artists that it's kind of difficult to work with. If you don't know what you're doing, like me drawing humans is not easy. I would not be able to use this brush to draw human hair. And I haven't really met anybody who uses it like that. So I decided to use it really funky, really quirky, and it had a really unique effect. It made the crab look fluffy, and that's okay. But I don't know. It was a fun little adventure for sure. I actually really liked how it turned out. It's very bright and colorful and rainbowy, which is exactly what I was going for. Because cancers, I know it sounds weird saying, cancer people, because like it's not the same thing, but people who are cancers, funky, people who are cancers, they are more in tune with their emotions, probably more than any other sign. And usually, you know how emotions are usually, you can describe them with colors. Like, you know, red is passion, or anger, or lust, or whatever, and then green is envy, or it can also be like healing and all that. And so I decided that I wanted this to be really, really colorful. And it definitely did turn out to be. I got rid of that green. That green was not pretty. I didn't like it, so I got rid of it later. All part of the plan. My least favorite part was probably doing the main body, which is weird because usually that's probably one of my favorite parts, but it was just so big and it was too open almost. I'm used to doing things that are very intricate or there's a lot of shading involved, and with this there was no shading hardly at all. Well, I suppose there was, but it doesn't count. Not with this brush at least. But yeah, it was really open and it was kind of difficult because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but the end actually turned out fairly well. But my favorite part was definitely the legs. Oddly enough, not the claws. And there I am getting rid of that green. With more green, but this green's better green. See how fluffy it looks? Like, it has a weird fluffy appearance. It almost reminds me of, you know when you make those little those sand kits when you're little, like with the colored sand, and you drop it into a bottle, and then you have a little rod, and you can push it down, and the sand makes all sorts of fun little designs. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Because everything layers, and sometimes with this brush, you don't quite know what you're getting yourself into with the layering. It takes a lot longer than my normal rough brush that I usually use. I really have to memorize the name for that. I'll figure it out. But yeah, look, it has a fluffy look. It's different. I like it. I decided to just roll with the fluffy crab. Are crabs fluffy? Well, maybe if they grow algae on them, I don't know. But it just looked kind of out of place having the fluff on the back and then having a hard edge. And so I just kind of rolled with it. And it turned out fairly well. And the legs were my favorite part, and I think part of that is because they were segmented, and I could see exactly what I was working with, what I was doing, and small brain time, you know? Like, you can focus in really hard on one segment and get that done and then move on to the next. You can't really do that on the main body. I love fire colors. I know red technically isn't a fire color, but dang does it look good as one, and black as well, but dang does it look good as one, so I had to do some fire colors on the back leg, just because they're the more intimidating colors, I'd say. And in the front, I went with purple, because purple is an amazing color, and everybody should know it. When I'm using color, I tend to gravitate towards the color green. I really, really like the color green. At least I like drawing in it. And green and blue is probably green, blue, and purple is probably one of my favorite color combinations for, maybe it's because it's soothing. It's a soothing effect, but I also like the flame colors on the opposite side of the color wheel. So, I don't know. Some color combinations are just like, oh, feels so good. Some people like sounds, some people like really good graphics, but I'm like a sucker for good color combinations. It's really weird. I have no idea what my future house is going to look like, but it's definitely going to be a very colorful place to live. That color purple that I'm going with on the claws there, one of the places that I lived in when I was younger, we moved in and the people before us also wanted a very colorful house, so they painted every single room a different color, which is great and all, but it was really strange, the colors that they chose, because the kitchen was bright red, like you can imagine, not a blood red, not a brick red, it was just a bright kind of orangey red, and red, actually, psychologically, red and yellow together is supposed to make people hungry. It's a weird trick, which McDonald's caught on. You got it. But, doesn't really work on me. But anyway, red, and then the bathroom, which was connected to the kitchen, which I always thought was funky. But anyway, it was connected to the kitchen, was a periwinkle purple. Just going from blazing hot red kitchen to, like, a soft, soothing periwinkle purple was kind of a strange idea. And then up in the loft, it was like a deep forest green, and then the bathroom was like the light color on that crab's back, that kind of bamboo color, and then the bedroom was like bright, bright, bright yellow. It was just, kind of. Yellow is probably one of my least favorite colors. I like it in combinations with things like the fire colors and such, and I think yellow and brown look really good together, which is kind of a weird combination, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, but yeah, that house was a little too colorful for my liking. You know, when you have colors together, you have to make a mix. You have to make them smooth into each other so it's not like a pop of ouch, you know? This crab is actually kind of a pop of ouch, because there's so many colors together, and those pink legs definitely do not go with the orange body or the green claws, but at the same time, Cancer people have so many emotions, or at least they're more in tune with their emotions than other signs are, so I really wanted to show the craziness that comes with that. In a good way. In a good way. And always struggle with the background, because that's what I do. Yes, I did decide to put the Cancer sign in the back, because the Cancer symbol, actually I think it's very pretty, although it has other meanings. But I decided to put it in the back because it looked a little like waves, and it's a water sign, so it kind of works. And you made it all the way to the end of the video, so I thank you very much. If you liked it, consider subscribing and liking it, and I'll see you in the next video. See you, bye.